We've got some very interesting New York Rangers news and updates to take a look at here today involving the entire team and the future of this core group of players, as well as some individual players as well, and a lot of just other news and updates as well surrounding this team from training camp. As Thursday, they had their first on-ice session of training camp so far. So let's dive right into it here. We got a lot of news to take a look at. So let's get into it here, starting off with a quote here from Vince Mercagliano. He posts on X here saying, "The convo with Trouba was pretty extensive and I'll have much more coming in a new story," but he had this to say when I asked about NYR running it back. Quote, "In all likelihood, this will probably be the last crack for this core. I don't think that's a secret by any chance." That is Jacob Trouba, the captain of the Rangers, saying those exact words. He's pretty much saying that he believes and is pretty much kind of saying that it's probably going to be the last season for this core group of players. Now, that's very interesting because obviously a guy like him and Panarin, they're still going to have one more year left under contract after this upcoming season. Mika, he's locked in for 4 more seasons. You have Kreider locked in for 3. Trocheck is locked in for 4. He does locked in for 3 more. A lot of guys are kind of locked in there. Obviously, Fox, he's locked in for a while now, and some other guys are as well. So it's going to be an interesting kind of season here, and obviously what kind of happens throughout this upcoming season and the success they have kind of depends, I'm sure, on kind of what moves are going to be made this upcoming offseason, obviously in 2025, that summer. So it's a long ways away. We'll have to wait and see, but hopefully this team can obviously get the job done there. And I'll probably have a more in-depth video kind of breaking down exactly what this kind of could mean for the Rangers here, whether it is truly kind of cup or bust, and kind of what the exact words of what kind of Trouba kind of says here possibly mean. So I might have a video kind of later on, kind of dive more into that in the coming days or whatever. But carrying on here, though, and moving on to the next part here, another very interesting kind of lineup update here for the Rangers. Molly Walker, she posts on X here saying, "Way too early NYR lineup." And it has Chris Kreider, Zibanejad, and Riley Smith being that kind of top line, with Panarin, Trocheck, and Lafreniere as that kind of second line. We know they're both kind of that 1A, 1B kind of line there offensively. The better line is obviously the Panarin line, so that's fine there. And we have here for the third line, Will Cooley, Philip Hedl, and Capo Caco. Not too bad there, but interesting, obviously, that Othman is not there at all, and not in this lineup, obviously at all. They're with Jimmy VC being that fourth line left winger, Sam Carrick being the center, and Brodzinski being that fourth line right winger. But we do have an update on Matt Rempe in a second, so don't get too worried about that coming up next. And then we have here for the defense, Ryan Lindgren, Adam Fox, Keandre Miller, Schneider, which that's the second pair that I want to see personally. I'd love to hear what you guys in the comments kind of think there as well. Definitely comment down below your thoughts, because personally, for that second pair, I do want to see Miller, Schneider, and for that third pair, I do want to see Jones, Trouba. Obviously, Trouba's on this team going forward for this upcoming season at least, so Trouba and Jones as that third D pair will probably be all right if that's what obviously ends up happening, which I kind of want to see happen as well. And we do have another update here coming up, though, about obviously Matt Rempe and why he was not in that kind of lineup there. As Molly Walker posts on X, Peter Laviolette says Matt Rempe will join the main group tomorrow, but the NYR coach stayed diplomatic when asked if number 73 still had to make the team or if he had seen enough last year. Quote, "I don't think it's fair to just box guys in or out," Peter Laviolette says. So I think it makes a lot of sense to, obviously not just kind of give a spot to a guy like Matt Rempe. Yes, I think he's probably going to make this team here, obviously, and probably on a spot there on that fourth line, but not just giving a spot to someone like Matt Rempe, who he's still a very young guy, right? Obviously, he's a solid kind of fourth line guy. He brings a certain kind of style that obviously not a lot of players have, which is that very tall kind of style. They're obviously a very big guy. He's a tough guy. He can fight. He can hit. He can skate a bit there. Not the best all-around guy, but it seems like he is kind of working on his all-around game there to get better offensively and defensively and kind of work on his skating as well. So if he could be a better complete player there, that would be great for this team. But I do think that not just kind of giving a spot to him makes a lot of sense there. Make him earn that spot there. Hopefully he does earn that spot and can be a pretty impactful player possibly on that fourth line, being that tough guy, the energy guy, but also possibly being a just kind of solid or somewhat solid kind of all-around player as well as he continues to develop, because he is still very, very young. But carrying on now and taking a look at another quote here from Matt Rempe, kind of talking about him, as he ends up saying, quote, "I want to be a way more complete player. I want to be able to play big minutes every night and do every single thing in a game, inside a game. I want to pick my spots more, always put the team first, only going to fight if it benefits the team. And personally, I think that makes a lot of sense there. This is a guy who he fought a lot last year in a pretty small amount of time. So for his long-term health and obviously, the head stuff and the concussions and all that kind of stuff can happen. We see with Filipino, they're obviously not because of the fighting, but he's had his concussions as well. The head stuff can definitely be very, very bad for not only right now and long-term as well. We're seeing that with, Tua, Tagovailoa, somebody watched the NFL, obviously with the Dolphins quarterback there. So concussions and head injuries can definitely be very bad. So you don't want to see this guy fighting a crap ton in a small amount of time there, having 3 fights in like a 4 or 5 game sample size. That's just not going to be a long-term kind of success there for Matt Rempe. So if he can pick his spots more, fight when he has to, if there's a dirty hit there, some player on the range gets hit from behind there, go stick up for your teammate there, go fight a guy if you have to, that's great and all. But if he can pick his spots more and just be that kind of solid player for this team, that will definitely be very, very nice. And now let's take a look at a couple more cool quotes and interesting kind of updates here involving Matt Rempe. So starting off here, NYR Rempe says he's been the Quick's oldest child while living with them this summer. Their 4-year-old Cash tries to fight him every day. They catch frogs together. The tentative plan is for Rempe to stay with the Quicks for the season if he makes a team, which I think is great. I mean, Rempe is a young guy, and I think going and living with a guy like Jonathan Quick there who has, a wife and a kid there, he's a veteran guy. He's been around the league for a very long time. He's a, American hockey legend, right? One of the best, if not the best American goaltender of all time. He's won his cups there. He's been a top-tier goaltender in his time there. Obviously, at this moment, he's a backup, but he can be that good leader for a young guy like Rempe there. So I think that's a perfect scenario for Rempe, and hopefully he makes this team and can stay with living with them, because that seems like the ideal spot for a young player breaking the NHL like Matt Rempe. And I just hit my desk there. But anyways, carrying on though. Jacqueline Quick has been like a second mom to him. Rempe added, on the prospect of continuing to live with Jonathan, quote, guys won 3 cups, talking about Quick. He's a great mentor, unbelievable player. He's a plethora of knowledge, and just to learn from every day and do what he does. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Kind of like I said there, basically, he's going to be a great leader, a great mentor, someone to kind of just teach Rempe some of the things to kind of be an NHL guy, possibly, and hopefully Rempe can have a nice long career. But the final kind of update here and piece of news involving Rempe and for this video is the fact that Matt Rempe pretty much seems like he's been skating a lot this offseason. As it ends up saying here, NYR Rempe said he power skated every single day the last 2 months. Quote, I want to learn everything. I think I've got a dog mindset. Gonna go in there and take everything I can and go showcase that. Hey, I've improved a lot. I'm going to be buzzing out there. And that's exactly what you want to hear as a Rangers fan. The fact that a young guy on the Rangers who obviously has a few holes in his game went into the offseason and just worked his butt off there. He was obviously with George Laraque, kind of working on his fighting there a bit, which is good for his fighting side of things there and also being the tough guy and stuff like that. But also his skating as well. That's an important part of hockey, obviously, if you haven't noticed. So him going out there and being that very tall guy at 6'8", whatever he is, but obviously kind of working on that skating, which is a big thing. If he can become a much better skater, and that could be a big thing for his all-around game. I mean, that kind of agility work as well should be a big kind of thing for him as well. If he can kind of work on that stuff, he could be a very talented player at the NHL level, and a more likely kind of bottom 6 role, but still could be a very solid player. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you are a New York Rangers fan and you've enjoyed this video, definitely hit that like button and subscribe for a ton more New York Rangers content. Very soon I'll be back to posting every single day like I did for this entire past season and a while before that as well. So if you're a Rangers fan, hit that like button and subscribe for a lot more content. And also, if you have any thoughts or opinions, definitely comment them down below. Let me know your thoughts on some of the news here involving Matt Rempe, but also what Jacob Trouba said there as well involving the future of this core group of players. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.